op sociale mediaplatforms vandaag de dag gaat kwaliteitsinhoud vaak onopgemerkt voorbij. Op Den krijgen gebruikers betaald voor het maken, evalueren en beheren van kwaliteitsinhoud. Contentmakers worden beloond op basis van de betrokkenheid en het bereik van een bericht of opmerking. Contentbeoordelaars worden beloond op basis van de snelheid en resultaten van hun voorspellingen over welke content trending zal zijn of viraal zal gaan. Eigenaren van communities worden beloond op basis van betrokkenheid binnen een community. Kwaliteitsinhoud loont op Den.
Hello? I can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
I was muted. Muted.
Okay, good.
So lucky it's a call. Okay, so I think I must. You know what? It usually turns mute off. I must have clicked mute before.
No worries.
So I don't know if Dave is going to be here or not. I have to tell you, I only have 15 minutes.
You only have what?
I only have about 15 minutes.
That's fine. I'll be
wait,
honest.
I take that back. I take no. Wait, actually, no. I have. Let's see here. I have 30 minutes. I do have 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Super. Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. This will probably be the last time I'll be able to make it for this time frame. So
we can move it. We just moved it to here, and I realized that on a Thursday, my youngest has piano lessons, and if it's the day that I need to take her, then I only have like 30 minutes. So maybe we should move it anyway.
Yeah, you know? I usually pick up our youngest from high school.
Yep.
And I have to be there like at 4:20.
Yep. All right. I say we move it.
Yeah.
Move it again. It's a call. It's all right.
It's a call.
It's a call. So we have for the agenda, let's see. February LCP starts on the 6th of February. Okay. Check out the new layers, Whistleblower and 3D printing. Both made it. They're both pretty cool. Nice. In fact, here, let me, if you don't mind, I will. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to make this. I'm gonna resize this just so that I can actually get to the governance side. Oh, look at this. Let's see here. Well, let's see if there's anything.
I haven't gone to the governance in a while.
Nothing to show. Okay. Well, nothing to show. Nothing in the DENDAO issues. So that's good to check on.
I just entered for the record. I don't know how soon you're. For the record, please include decentralization of DIN for discussion.
Oh yeah, we'll throw it in there. Yeah, we'll. Yeah. So okay. So
when you hit that, you'll refresh. It'll be there.
Yes. So if I go back, you know what? Oh, there we go. It is this call. So I should open that in a new tab. But anyway, check the new layers. And by the way, we should get the branding in them and the descriptions in them and whatever else. So if anybody's up for doing that, especially the original sponsors or proposers of those, it would be very good. I'll vote on them. I'll vote right away. I'm easy. Yeah. I'd love to vote on Den.
Yes.
On Den,
that's the only place I vote.
Actually real.
Lose it with my wallet.
Yeah. So, okay. We'll get quick reminders. Coffee with Den hopefully comes back soon. Submit questions for the World Blockchain Roundtable. Next week is goodwill toward men and so on. It's almost like a Christmas topic, but it's a good thing. Anyway, what are some good things that can be done with blockchain? Let's see here. I am for the record. Please include decentralization of DIN for discussion. So yeah, I will say one thing popped up where there was a network that is working with Dragon Chain to build some stuff out, and they were mentioning a decentralized resources component or feature to their network, and I'm like, you guys did that. I might have because I know how they're implemented, so it would be a very a much easier than a lot of the other networks we've looked at. So that might be a thing that we do. Of course, there's always more, right? So
process of learning.
Yeah. And then other than that, you and I, I'm kind of glad we did not succeed at the one group because the more I understand about the group, they might be, I don't know, I want to say that nobody knows what I'm talking about it, but they might be compromised in a way that I did not expect. But whatever. Who knows? And what else for decentralization? I mean,
it's just that how can I put it? With the WEF talking about we need to essentially crush disinformation, and which is the opposite of propping up their propaganda, which that's exactly what they're going to do. I think that sites like Den and others are going to or could flourish in this environment.
I agree.
Decentralization of them is going to be important.
Yeah, I agree.
Said that. So anyway, I'm just thinking forward looking, future looking at the trend of sequestering where and what information you can get, and it can also be a great advertisement to attract new users.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And there's gosh, I've also there are also some new opportunities to get some more resources applied. We'll see if those pan out in the coming couple of months, but I'm hopeful that I've encountered and met some people that might very well, in multiple groups, that might very well be able to help us with Den, and take some ownership and take some a role. So we'll see how that goes. But that would be what we would apply. We would say, okay, what are the things we can do which would most focus on adoption and decentralization and so on. So, yep.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of my biggest concern or fear, or other than revenue for Den to maintain and grow.
Yeah. Yep. And by the way, we should look at some of those things that might be niche, but not maybe branded as a DAO, but community organization, community governance. Well, I don't know what term you would use, that would get you clicks and stuff, but there might be a good market for that, to say, hey, don't use Facebook for your group, your neighborhood org or your book club or whatever the heck it is. Use this, and it could even be an investment club or something where you're voting literally on what to do with the funds. So that would all be amazing, and we could white label it so that you could have an app where the app is essentially that group's app, but it's just straight into Den.
The term DAO is becoming more widely used and understood. Well, I don't know if I would say widely, but it is encroaching on different conversations.
True.
All over the place.
Yep. And there is at least some real activity going on there. So it's like, okay, and we've already built so much in a model that is a DAO that can be expanded very much in the decentralization angle, but it also is very friendly at its base layer for normal people that don't care about some of the they might not be a group that is worried about censorship, and yet if they realize later that, oh gosh, we do need to worry about censorship, they could just plug into or do the things that make it more decentralized. So anyway, Dayrock says, I suggest that the wallet also include the address and link to the DEX for Dragon. I don't know for Dragon. What's it have? So it has matter, lore, transfer. Is it?
So he's wanting to see Dragon here.
Yeah, which I'm not sure why, but claim or transfer to MetaMask. I swear there is. It might be in settings. Let me see here. I have to go down here. So there's document. Okay, there's documentation, tokens. Maybe is it under tokens?
I don't ever recall seeing Dragon anywhere.
Okay, so yeah, Dragon I don't think ever was. So there's Matter, of course. Sorry, I don't. You probably didn't see that. So I'll open all these. So it has the Matter on, and it has the this. Oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Zero volume. So I mean, it is. I don't know. There's not much volume in there, but I'm not the expert at some of this, but people have been buying some. Next, we have a 404 for this pair, so we have to figure out what that is. That might be the lower side. Here is the Matter Etherscan that's linked, and here is what is this?
That's the Dex
Matter
tools.
with.
That's called Dex tools. That's where I use that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
8,000 Matter. I don't know. It's like, okay, whatever. Anyway.
So I think he's looking for Dragon itself, and I don't know how Dragon would tie into Den on the Den wallet.
Yeah, I don't think so. It might be something to think of. There, potentially, I think it might have even been a proposal in there to allow staking of Dragon for the ongoing lore reward system. But we never had the time to do that, and no one was really pushing for it. So we're like, okay, whatever. That could fit a little bit, but that's more in the claim side than necessarily. I guess in that case, it would make sense to point to the token, but God, the whole crypto world is so out of whack with exchanges, and I don't. Almost every crypto place has pretty much banned me. Not all of them, and or gone out of business. Right, so a lot of them obviously gone out of business, and I used to have a Bittrex account. They're gone. I never had a Binance account except for whatever that tool was that they bought. And I don't know, like I used to have a Circle account. They're gone. Right. So it's stuff like that. So, I used to have a Mt. Gox account.
Oh, wow.
Too.
Yeah.
Right?
I never had a Mt. Gox account. I just remember like looking at Bitcoin prior to the Mt. Gox drop and said, and my, one of my managers was telling me, boss, we got to buy this. We got to get into this. We got to mine this thing. And I watched it, and it didn't bother me at all that Mt. Gox had collapsed, not knowing closely enough about it, but the price, in other words, it didn't bother me because I saw its potential.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a bunch there.
So anyway, I don't see, is there a reason or to tie in Dragon on the wallet if this is the location he's talking about? I don't.
Yeah, it might be different, right?
I don't know what
the staking too. If he's talking about the staking, maybe.
Well, there you go.
Agree.
There you go.
So tell us, Dayrox. And if you have an idea or you have a real driver for something, let us know. We're just we're hurting for resources and time. But things we'll see. Things are changing, so there is stuff happening, and there is a potential, and a big part of the decentralization, frankly, is a step way before decentralization, which is just getting through and processing an open source release, right? Just to get everything out there so that people can come in and contribute, right? And start building stuff out, right? That's what I really want to see. And,
so you would, I could see how we would need the open sourcing before decentralization. It does make sense. It's kind of the cart before the horse.
Yeah. And that's, that's not too hard. We just need to grab some time from a couple of the devs and walk through and make sure, make sure you pay them, make sure everything's clean, make sure, we're not releasing something we aren't supposed to or whatever else. But it shouldn't be that bad. and then everybody would contribute. And, in the end, in the long term, I would like on the technical side of DAO, I would like to, for instance, make a multi-sig plugin for DENDAO that would essentially be, approvals for pull requests on Git for changes, right? So, and then it can be tied to bounties. So, potentially some features, if they pass the tests and were approved by DENDAO, then they'd get a bounty, right?
Right.
It'd be a beautiful thing. So, and the bounty, by the way, could, I hadn't thought about this. It could be a temporary mining pool, so they get so much a day, or it could be from stuff that's already mined that Den holds and puts it, or anybody, anybody could put matter into a bounty, and that'd be a pretty sweet way to say, hey, join me, put some matter into this, let's get it built.
Right.
So, but we need it to be open source. So I'll talk to him pretty soon. Maybe we're working on a few projects that we don't have any extra time, but that could happen at any point that everything's done and we have some hours or something. So
it would be nice to know kind of hours and dollar figure for that.
Oh yeah.
That's the price tag
that's a good question.
Accomplishing that, but which takes some digging to calculate.
Yeah. The problem usually with some of that stuff though is like it's almost like, hey, if we know it's not going to be a month or something, let's just start it and not spend any time estimating, because we might as well be using that time to do it.
I get you.
It depends. It totally depends. But for something like that, I think that's the case. So often, like we wrote something for a customer, and we both kind of felt like we still had another week or more left, and the deadline was coming up. And yesterday we were like, okay, we went through it. It's like, okay, now this, okay, now, oh, that's it. We're done. So it's like, we did not expect to be done that soon. So,
sure. Well, let me ask you, how can I say phrase this? So once it would be open sourced, would a kind of like Bitcoin Core still exist? Would we have something like that a core team that would still kind of look over the commits? I don't know the architecture.
I think it'd be DENDAO. I think it'd be DENDAO. So it would be everybody on the platform would have a vote. What I would like is, let's say a pull request comes in, and it would be kind of like one of the chain. You have the miscellaneous governance question issues, and then you have like with the layer. Oh, I want to change the avatar. That I would imagine it would be a new type, and a pull request would come in, and I'd prefer it would go to just straight to the DENDAO, because then you have the builders vote, you have the creators vote, and you have the owners vote, and essentially everybody on the platform would have a vote. And things have to be clear, and probably have some organization, and probably have a lot of need for people talking stuff through, especially early. But then you just vote, and you're like, okay, it passed. Boom! It's going to roll into the GitHub, and after it rolls into GitHub, we could either automate the deployment, or it could be scheduled, right? So that could be part of the governance issues. Like, okay, I want this to be in, and it needs an emergency. It needs to go in ASAP, right? Versus,
right?
We can schedule it for whenever. But that would be amazing, and I think a lot of other open source projects could then plug into that.
Sure.
Which there's so much that can be done there, by the way, that and I know they're interested in it, but regulations kind of cramped that, because I gave a talk at an open source conference in Seattle, probably 2016, maybe 2017, probably 2016. Wow. And it was specifically about pre-Dragon, before Dragon. So it was 2016 before Dragon Chain was released, and I basically spelled out that maybe it was after Dragon Chain was released. Either way, I spelled out that you could, let's say you have a web server open source project, and maybe it's an application thing that you would deploy, whatever it is. That is being used by, let's say, 1,000 different groups.
Mhm.
That the ones who are using it the most will generate, and you have to have, what's your proof? Your proof is going to be proof of use, essentially, and you have to refine it to the point where it's not easy to cheat, and you have to have some mechanism for people who are cheating to be, blocked or whatever. But either way, they would generate tokens. And they would essentially use the tokens to buy in. And the other side of it is people who put in liquidity would also generate mining. So if you're providing for the liquidity so the developers can actually convert it to something they can pay bills with, or if you are using it, you're generating some number of tokens. And that is kind of the economics for how you have the influence. And the devs can still do whatever they want to do. You can say, "Hey, I'm doing this. I don't care if I get paid. I don't care if anybody doesn't want it. I want to do it." Versus, the other. Greg,
What's up?
We only got a few more minutes here, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to leave at the top of the hour. Is it top of the hour? Bottom of the hour? Is it the same thing?
I was having issues with the app. I didn't realize I needed to do an update.
I'm sorry.
So, my own fault.
How you doing, Greg?
Doing well, man.
Good.
How about yourself?
Good, man. After getting through the flu and
Oof.
had a project here at the home, and after traveling the holiday and all that, now
Right.
I'm kind of get back into it.
It's a cliche to say the holidays need a holiday, but it's
Yeah.
actually got a kernel of truth to it.
Yeah.
I learned how to do roofing.
Nice.
I'm tired.
That's
we
great.
had a leak at the house here in Texas, and it was an odd location. And my son-in-law said, "Hey, let's try this." I go, "Okay."
Nice. You're the only people in my house that know how to roof are my two dogs.
I'm glad I don't have to do it for a living.
Horrible
My two
joke.
dogs.
Oh, brother.
So,
No, that's good. That's a very valuable skill to have, I think.
I have no desire to do it.
No, I'm just saying, like if you patch something, I was like,
Yeah.
Well,
now I'm going to go do the patio. So
okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, well, I do need to leave at least in 7 minutes, but better ideally if sooner. So if you guys have anything else to add or we need to talk about, I'm okay.
No, like I said, my only item was I would just, for the record, bring up decentralization again. And
Yep.
Greg, to get you up to speed, then we talked about open sourcing, what would be the process in that. We kind of, just touched on the basics of those two items.
Yep.
And that really wrapped up the meeting, to be honest. So.
Well, the only thing that I would add to that is it's kind of an apropos time to be facing up authorities with the question of open source software, right? Like if you're a project that's challenging the edge of permissibility with respect to a really conservative, restrictive set of institutions that are mostly not on the level, right? Open source is the thing. Right?
Yeah.
Tornado Cash is like the living example of that right now, but like open source is still central to cypherpunk, and we need if we can bash people over the head with it, it is a strength.
Yes.
Yep. I agree.
Anyway,
and that's the cart before the horse: open sourcing and then decentralization.
Right.
Yeah. I think we can if we get that out, it'll help help decentralization quite a bit. So especially
it will certainly deprive anyone of an argument that there's no public good to be had in projects spawned from tokens.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep. All right.
I think it's probably already well known enough, but like those people are so dense, you need like 15 bricks made of open source software in order to get their attention, and then you got to start mixing more mortar for the rest of them, because it's going to take a house.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys okay to sign off?
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks
See you
again.
in 2 weeks.
And we'll put a time for this next meeting. We'll have to discuss that maybe in chat or something on Dan.
Yep. Oh yeah. To change the time. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Cool. This isn't going to work for me.
Right on. We will move it. We'll figure out when Dave can do it. When everybody can do it. It'll be good. Okay. All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks again.
Cheers.
Likewise.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it.